people? MountainManDan here. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and share if you like what you're seeing. I am doing the classic Vanlife maintenance of an oil change today. I am doing so on a break from patients on my lunch. So we'll see how it goes. It's tight. Also, what you're seeing behind me and somewhat dangle in the back of the van is my laundry that is drying from this morning. This is my method of drying it, is this fashion clothesline that I did with some paracord and mini carabiner and a cinch. So this is how I dry my performance wear, all that crap. You may be seeing me put that away later because I think it might be dry. We are on the way to the auto shop now. After that, I'm gonna chat with you guys a little bit about rolling with the punches, because that's sort of the number one thing not only learned from van life, but I've sort of operated on most of my life. It's such a benefit to just have that attitude going in, so you sort of are aware. And then rolling with the punches is more of a mindset than it is just trying to stay patient all the time, because I don't know what's going on here. And I'll elaborate here in a moment. Right now I'm gonna focus on getting there safely. I called ahead, didn't get a hold of them, but my goal is they're gonna get me right in just to maximize time. I did schedule this appointment yesterday, so I hope it's timely, just because I do have a patient scheduled for 1 p.m. after this. But a lot of these spots I've found are generally pretty amazing, and 40 minutes turnaround and sort of like a, one of the drive-through lubes works. I would say go to Ford, however, I hadn't had what I would say exquisite service or service that I would recommend. Mostly I think it's just a customer service model, but I don't officially know. The company at this time seems to have been rather decent to me as a whole. Enough experiences now that have cost me days out of the van that I'm not always willing to tolerate, and now I'm just sort of over it. Yeah, trying to get into a dealership right now with the backlog that they have is like months out, so it's not really an option if you're just trying to get a basic oil change. Okay, well, come to find out, they won't let you sit in the car at this place. You could do it at a Jiffy Lube, but here I am. So I'm gonna get my lunch, go inside and eat, and maybe I'll try to film this here in a little bit. I like being in my van, eating lunch in here, of course hanging out with Coop, etc. But here we are, rolling with the punches. All right, so it's laundry day. Knocked out some laundry this morning and was just letting it dry. We are dry. So now just getting things back up. Probably see my socks right there. That's where the air hits them through the window, going to the fan. So that's where I put it normally. And it was a good warm day here, so everything dried out pretty good. But back to what I was saying about rolling with the punches. Today I went in for the oil change. Wouldn't let me sit in my van. I woke up this morning just to sort of ride a little bit and gather these concepts together, and then they said it's an insurance thing. Understandable, I get it. I just was getting an oil change on a lunch break, wanted to sit in my kitchen and eat lunch, so had to grab all my stuff out of the fridge and then just take it into their lobby. Part of life, no big deal. That is rolling with the punches yet again. I didn't have what I would call a private place to film when I wanted to do that on my lunch and hopefully upload those files so I could get those in for the evening. Just didn't happen, but it's all right. Life is all right, and it doesn't put me much behind schedule. It was just something I had set out to do today as something I wanted to put on my completed list, but it didn't get there. So not a big deal. And the reason I've had what I would say is several moments where I just realized that adaptability is so important for van life is, hold on, got a bunch of boxers hanging on the front, is I had some really tough experiences with Ford where I was just really begging for communication because they would never keep me updated. It's really hard to plan for a place to stay or getting an additional vehicle if you don't have wheels or essentially good communication to live your life. You've given up your home and your transportation. So I always found it to be so challenging, and I noticed like I would call and ask and just ask and ask, and this was sort of already after a good amount of history with Ford. I remember going in and I was doing an overnight thing for the van. It was a recall, so they had to keep it. And I made plans accordingly. It wasn't too bad for me. But I took it in the day before. They had it, and they got the front end off and got it apart. And I said, hey, I'm coming back tomorrow. It was a Friday. I'll be here by the day's end. Keep me updated. If I can get it earlier or if I need to make plans accordingly, let me know. So Friday rolls around. Was not able to get with them on Friday morning or on Friday at lunch when I could actually call them. So I hadn't heard anything. So I'm just going through my day hoping for the best, because I ultimately am picking up my vehicle in a few hours, and I wanted to make sure I was going to get it so I could then move into the weekend plans where I normally would just cycle every weekend. How do you like that clothesline? Homemade! And it turned into a scenario where I show up, my vehicle is still pulled apart, front end off, and I'm talking with the same guy, and he's like, listen, man, I don't know what to tell you. Our tech didn't show up for work today. He got a DUI, and your van's still apart. I said, I get it, man. You know, I was just asking for communication so I could make plans for this. You know, it's hard for me to find a place, one, and then arrange transportation, two, and then also make sure I have a place to stay situated for next week until this van's put together again, and do it with a dog. And he was like, I have nothing else to say. We were just busy. And I was like, dude, never say that to another customer in your career again. That's no solution. But it's like, you know, no apology. It was just so odd because I'm like, man, here I am rolling with the punches because I'm now forced to. And I didn't get angry. And he was like, thanks for being patient with us. So I mean, like, that was it. And like, I almost had to be. I was lucky. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm pretty glad it's me versus maybe somebody else not as flexible to deal with this, because at the time I did have hospital provided housing. How lucky is that? And I remember thinking, I can deal with this. It is a massive inconvenience, and I guess I was trying to be more solutions based. And I remember like turning to this guy and I just said, are you gonna let me stay here this weekend and access my van? He said, no, certainly not. You can't come in after hours and get not only in the service area, but definitely can't go in and out of the dealership. And I said, okay, what vehicle are you giving me? And does it fit a bike? And it was over. And I was just pretty stoked because here we are, at least moving forward into the next stages. And I just remember thinking it was an experience that's completely affected how I operate with the van. Like I definitely call and I over communicate to make sure I'm aware of what's going on and how to operate and plan in advance. Like I'm always thinking several steps in advance to make sure I can accommodate changes in that stuff and then take care of Coop and still make sure my weekends aren't completely crumbled when I don't get a vehicle back. But getting an oil change today, it's almost like, okay, is it gonna work or is it gonna be a big deal? So thankfully it was great, but I thought that might be worth sharing because it is probably masterfully the best thing you can have in van life, because stuff is going to change, and it is a far bigger hit when it's not just your transportation, but it's also where you lay your head to rest at night. Then you throw in having an animal with you. It's, you know, your home for both of you. It does turn into a heck of a time. So anyways, thanks for hearing. I like trying to add van life tidbits because this is the stuff that really is the glue for making this lifestyle sustainable. And I think that's, like, in terms of personality traits, it's benefited me greatly because it never is consistent when it comes to stuff you would expect. MountainManDan, if you don't mind, subscribe, share, and like. And if you think any of this content can help people, whether they're a van lifer or a person looking to really get some stuff organized in life and reignite their stoke, tell them to follow me, get in touch. We'd love to hear from them. Thanks.